Hi, this is John from Turbot. If you're looking for quick demos of FlowPipe features, you're in the right place. Here's a query to find IAM access keys that are active beyond what our 90-day policy allows. It's nice to be able to find this non-compliant resource, but you also want to bring it into compliance. That often requires human input. In this demo, we'll look at how FlowPipe pipelines can pause, accept human input, and then continue based on that input. Here's a workflow that embeds our query in a trigger. The capture block relays query results to this pipeline, which loops over one or more access keys and then calls this pipeline for each key. The pipeline that's called once per key includes an input step that presents two choices: deactivate the key or leave it active. FlowPipe's input step is generic. It defines what the choices are and how they're represented, in this case as buttons, but the input step says nothing about how those buttons are rendered. That's just a configuration detail. Here's how the choices are rendered in an email. And this is what they look like in Slack. Back in our pipeline, there's a pipeline step that now runs only if the message recipient pressed the deactivate button. And if it runs, it calls a pipeline in the AWS library mod to do the deactivation. This message step also runs only if the recipient chose to deactivate. It sends a message to confirm the deactivation. Let's run this workflow with a Slack configuration. Because we're querying SteamPipe, we'll first start SteamPipe as a service. Then we'll start the FlowPipe server with a base URL matching a webhook that we've set up in Slack. Okay, the query found a stale key and kicked off an interaction with Slack. The pipeline's input step will now wait for a response. Over in Slack, we'll press the deactivate button. And here's the message confirming that we've deactivated that key. The input step doesn't only support buttons. You can also present users with input boxes or lists of choices. In this example, a query trigger looks for S3 buckets that lack a required cost center tag, and it passes each one to an input step that hard-codes a list of allowed values. Here, FlowPipe has found a non-compliant bucket and has kicked off that interaction with Slack. When we select a tag value, the workflow calls a different library mod to tag the bucket with the value, and then runs that message step to send the confirmation we see here. And that's the FlowPipe input step in a nutshell. It uses to pause a pipeline, receive human input in various contexts using various communication channels, then resume the pipeline in order to take action on the input you got. It's a wildly flexible and powerful mechanism, and we can't wait to see how you'll put it to use. Thanks for watching. If you want to try FlowPipe for yourself, download it for free today at flowpipe.io